Hi, I just thought I'd answer a few questions that we get asked about our ThermoChar range. Now, the first question is, what is ThermoChar and Snakeskin? Well, Snakeskin is the name we give to our ThermoChar ash hardwood. And the main reason for that is because it has a very tight crackle to it, and it also is encompassed by the very attractive vibrant grain structure that we get with our chrome cut ThermoWood American ash. More so than you would get with a European ash, which has more of a straight grain effect to it and is less attractive. It's also less durable. What is Crazy Crackle as a timber cladding? Well, Crazy Crackle is the name we give to our ThermoWood radiata pine range, which is a softwood. It's a clear grade pine, comes from New Zealand. And the main reason for that name is because it has a very wide crackle to it. So rather like you would have a crazy paving. How are the two finishes visually different? One has a very wide grain crackle to it, whereas the ash has a very tight crackle to it. In terms of finishes, some people ask, is there a difference between the finishes? No, there isn't really any difference between them, just the fact that the radiata pine clear grade is a softwood, whereas the ash is a hardwood. In terms of its consistency, it's still just as consistent. There's no changes to it. We hand char now or have been hand charring all our ThermoChar range because every species burns differently. You get a different reaction on every single board, which is something you can't replicate when you just push them all through a machine. So that's why we specifically hand char all of our ThermoChar range for that reason. It takes slightly longer, but it has to be watched and has to be carefully nurtured through so that we get the right effect on every single board. Which timber would you recommend for a project? Well, that's down to personal choice really. They're both black obviously at the end of the day, so it's a question of whether you want something that's with a vibrant grain structure or something that's fairly soft and just has have a wide crackle to it. So it's really down to personal choice. Can both finishes be used externally in the UK? Well, yes, absolutely. That's the reason we do it. You have to have the right species to be able to do that. You can't just char any species. You shouldn't really be charring natural larch softwood because of the issues that we've explained in previous blogs. However, with our ThermoChar range, they are stable and durable enough to be able to accept the high heat intensity we apply when we're charring the surface. And therefore, if they're heavily charred, the surface will become more UV resistant than if you just lightly charred the surface, because you're getting a far deeper depth of char than you would otherwise get.